With version 17, you will see some key new enhancements with respect to how Booklog handles inventory. You'll be able to keep your pricing up to date so your purchase order estimates will be more accurate. You'll also be able to track inventory changes more effectively inside and outside of your system.
Items on your shelves may have outdated prices. If you build a purchase order that includes items with old pricing, then Booklog's estimates for that order won't be accurate because they are based on out-of-date information. If you have an interface with Content and Ingram, now you can update your prices before going through the receiving process. To check your list's price against Ingram's, just go to the inventory menu and double-click on the item. Click the price refresh icon, and Booklog will check to see if the item's price should be updated. If Ingram has a different list price than you do, Booklog will give you the option to update it.
Booklog will now log holds as inventory adjustments and post them in the Adjustments tab. These holds only get logged if the adjustment actually affected existing quantity on hand. For instance, if an item gets checked out for a book fair, or if you run allocate stock to orders to pull items from your inventory to fill open special or mail orders, then that change will show up in the Adjustments tab. If you put an item on hold that isn't in stock, you won't see that change in the Adjustments tab. Another new change to the Item Properties window is that you can get a complete item valuation breakdown for your item. When you click the Valuation button, you'll see the total cost for the on-hand value of the item and its average cost. You'll also see all the receiving sessions for that item, which Booklog uses to calculate its average cost. This item valuation report is also accessible through the Reports pick list.
If you use our QuickBooks interface, then version 17 includes an important change you should know about. During the physical inventory process, you'll be able to freeze your inventory numbers before you start entering new counts. Then unfreeze your inventory once your count is finished. At both those points, you can export your inventory numbers to QuickBooks. When you are doing your next inventory, do an export to QuickBooks right before you freeze your inventory. Then, after your inventory count is over and you unfreeze your inventory, export to QuickBooks again. Booklog does not automatically export to QuickBooks when you unfreeze, so be sure to export before selling or receiving any inventory. That way, you can be sure that QuickBooks has the right starting and ending numbers for your inventory.
If you use Timber as an e-commerce site, then you know the value of the master and sub-SKU relationship between your items. When you create a new item and then use the Duplicate button, Booklog will carry most of the characteristics from the first item, the master SKU, to the one you duplicated from it, the sub-SKU. These items are grouped together when you export them to Timber or if you add them to a promotional pricing event. But the sub-SKUs only inherit the master's characteristics when they are created. After that, they're on their own. Now, any change to the master SKU's department, categories, publisher, vendors, style number, case quantity, or reorder point can transfer to the sub-SKUs as well. Just make one of those changes, and Booklog will ask if you want to pass it on to the item's sub-SKUs.
If you use the multi-store version of Booklog, then you're familiar with stock transfers. Now, in addition to pushing or requesting stock from other store locations, you can add items to a to-be-transferred list. Go to the item's properties and click the To Be Transferred button and tell Booklog whether you want to add the item to the To Be Transferred tickler so you can work with it on a later stock transfer, or create a new stock transfer for the item, or add it to an existing transfer. If you add the item to the To Be Transferred tickler, you'll be able to add it to a stock push later on.
Version 17 offers new ways of creating and refining your orders. Your ordering process will be faster and more efficient.
If you've never used Booklog's user-defined lists before, one enhancement in version 17 should encourage you to do so. User-defined lists are like an extra layer of inventory beyond the department and category levels. You can make a user-defined list to handle any kind of inventory grouping, whether it's to group together items on a display table, or items you want to promote on your website, or any other reason, just by going to the Maintenance menu, clicking User-Defined Lists, inserting a new list, naming it, and scanning in the items you want to group together. Once the items are on this list, you can run reports on them, promote them together, and, in version 17, create purchase orders from them. To make a PO from a user-defined list, just add the items to the list, and then auto-create a PO. When you're auto-creating the PO, click Include User-Defined List, and Booklog will add the items from the lists you select into the auto-created PO.
You have a new way of adding special orders to your textbook purchase orders. Before version 17, Booklog made it possible for you to add special orders to your auto-created POs. Now you're able to import them selectively and add them directly to a manually created textbook PO. The next time you're creating a PO item by item, just click the Special Items shortcut to see any open special orders that could be filled by an order to this vendor. The special orders on this list get created on the retail side of Booklog. Creating special orders on that side of the system gives you tremendous added functionality, including a way to take full prepayments for items and send automatic emails that go out to students or faculty when their special order item gets received.
Version 17 adds 3 new columns to the purchase order pick list. Now you'll be able to see the total quantity, total retail, and total wholesale values for each PO. If your vendor requires a minimum order before filling your PO, or if they offer better price breaks at higher order amounts, you'll be able to assess how close to finished each order is just by looking at it on the purchase order pick list.
Booklog allows you to reserve copies of books that publishers make available for pre-order. These are typically books that the book industry feels have good promotion potential that will translate into high sales. The American Booksellers Association encourages integrating pre-orders into your ordering process, and for a list of books the ABA feels are excellent candidates for pre-orders, please visit https://www.bookweb.org/pre-order-calendar. To flag a book as a pre-order in Booklog, you can go into its item properties, click the Miscellaneous tab, and check the Pre-Order Radio button. After you set that flag, it's a good idea to use the TBO button to put that item on a PO, or your TBO tickler. When customers begin to order these pre-order items, they will appear in special orders with a check in the Pre-Ord box. Once you receive the pre-order items, Booklog will ask you to allocate them to those special orders. Pre-order items are also items that you will want to order for your own shelves and not just for individual customers. To be sure you don't over-order these pre-order items, Booklog doesn't display them on the special order import list in purchase orders by default. You will need to click the Show Pre-Orders button to make any orders with pre-orders in them appear. Special orders for pre-order items show up in pink on this list.
If you sell ebooks at your store, the text management module will now automatically exclude them from your auto-created purchase orders. Booklog will consider an ebook anything that has its type set to ebook in the text management module or is flagged as an ebook on the retail side.
Booklog's EDI agent always puts your most recent transmissions at the top of its transmissions log. But the transmissions below it, older transmissions, which might be for POs that are no longer active, don't go away on their own. With version 17, you can clear them out as you need to. When you go into the EDI agent and click on the Transmissions tab, you'll see checkboxes next to each entry. Leave that box checked for each item you want to delete and click the Clear button to delete them. Booklog will ask if you want to delete the entries, and you can click Yes or No.
Before version 17, the only way to see purchase order acknowledgments from your EDI agent was to print your confirmations directly to your printer. Now, a new store group setting lets you see them on the screen before or instead of printing them. Go to your maintenance menu on the text management side of Booklog and click Store Group. Check the box that says Preview EDI Confirmation on screen. Then, in the EDI agent, you'll see your confirmations on your screen when you click Print POAs, ASNs, and Want Lists Now.
Using ordering periods gives you a way to tie multiple terms together so you can order and want list books for those terms all at once. They are particularly useful if you are ordering for multiple campuses or mini-mesters. If you have tied multiple terms together into a single ordering period, but you need to be very selective about which terms in the ordering period you place an order for, you can now deselect terms you don't need books for yet. When you choose an ordering period, all the active terms associated with that period will be highlighted. You can hold down the Control button and click the highlighted term to remove it from the auto-created want list or auto-created PO you're working on. Another new feature in auto-created POs is that you can filter your selection process so that Booklog only looks for specific item types.
If you use Content and Ingram as a data source for your auto imports, you know that you have to specify your own item category and publisher codes during the import process. Otherwise, Ingram will substitute its own codes, making it harder to reorder or report on your inventory. Now, you can set a default category for the items that you auto import. To set this category, go to the Maintenance menu and click Store. Then, click the Defaults tab. Choose your default category by clicking the drop-down menu for Default Import Cat and make your selection there.
If you need to provide more oversight for your textbook orders, now there's a new solution. The retail side of Booklog has allowed you to add an approval signature line to your trade book and general merchandise POs. Version 17 gives the text management side the same option. To turn this on, just go to the Maintenance menu on the text management side and click Store. Click the Defaults tab and check the boxes for Print Approval Line on PO Review.